The Fall, first draft. So, this poem is about depression, and this is just a run through of the poem. I am the author, and it's just like an analysis of everything that I wrote. So, let's read the first stanza here, which is really short. Light shining from above, clear blue sky. On a day like this, one can only cry in a dream. But the sky is only a cover of the darkness behind. For there to be light, there must be darkness. So for every shining day, a dark, obscure night. Okay, let's go a quick run through of everything that I said. So first of all, let's start here. Light shining from above. So light shining from above means the sun. So it represents the sun because the sun is, it shines and it brings light and it comes from above. Clear blue sky is just a clear blue sky. And on a day like this, one can only cry in a dream. This just connects to what I described before. Like a shining day is like a clear symbol for like a happy day, and here I said that, but in other words. And now, but the sky is only a cover of the darkness behind. What I mean by this is the darkness behind the sky is actually space. And space is like dark, and it's I don't know, it's black, and it's just, yeah, darkness. And the sky covers it because it's in front of it. Okay. Now, for there to be light, there must be darkness. This is a famous quote I got from the internet, and I forgot who the author was, but I'm going to quote it when I make my written analysis of the poem. And so, for every shining day, a dark, obscure night. Okay, let's go on. Bench out of a tree, under a tree, over its roots, covered in red paint. So, bench out of a tree means that the bench is made of wood because it was made out of a tree. Under a tree, the bench is under the tree. Over its roots because it's on the grass on top of the roots. Covered in red paint. Now, this bench, it may be just a subtle thing, like I'm just describing a bench where like the character is, but it actually is a symbol because the bench, even though it's made out of a tree, it's under a tree, and it's like over its roots, like sort of like still connected to the tree, it was covered in red paint to stand like away from the tree and not like be part of it anymore. And this covered in red paint is like society covers people in red paint, or like an example, to move them away and direct them to a certain path. That's all my poem's gonna talk a lot about that, and that was just like a quick way to describe, but also a symbol for my poem. Blue shoe, gray shorts, blue shirt, colorful. So what I wrote here is that these are just like some colorful, like he's not using just like all black or all gray. He's like mixing it up, trying to like have a colorful outfit, and this just, and colorful also represents happiness in a way, like the word colorful and how you use it, and that's why I chose to use it. And so like to demonstrate that the character here is like a happy, like yeah, the moment he's happy. Now, next, one step at a time, faster, running through trees, jumping over bushes, stepping on stones, joy. Now, this is the only part in the poem where the character actually progresses. So I can see he goes one step at a time, then he goes faster, then he runs, he jumps, he steps on stones, and he feels joy because he's progressing. And that's the only time he's going to progress in this poem. Running, jumping, stepping, running, jumping, stop. You've reached the end of the park. The end of the park, the start of the dark. Okay, so here, as you can see, we understand now the scenario that the character's in. So he was jumping and running at a park, and then he was stopped. Okay, we didn't. There was no implication of who stopped him or if something stopped. He stopped. There's probably sorry, what I meant to say is there was an play that he was stopped. I just didn't specify what he was stopped by. And then here say, you've reached the end of the park. The end of the park, the start of the dark. So you've actually implies that the character is the reader. Okay, that's a really subtle thing that I chose, and I think it's important because if the character is the reader, it will make my idea is that the reader will be able to connect better with the character and the emotion of the poem. And you've reached the end of the park, the start of the dark. Okay, so it implies that now things are going to get worse, and it's just and it's also a quick, cool rhyme that just to put in the poem. Okay. Okay, next here. Next page. Surrounded. Gray, tall, scary tree buildings. So as you can see, when he left the park, he found himself surrounded by buildings. And when he tried to connect, you see, he connected, like he started saying tree, but it wasn't, because he was trying to connect with the things from the past, like the trees, and he said buildings, because clearly he he was starting to like leave behind the joy and the things, so it wasn't trees anymore, so it were buildings. So now it goes walking slow, walking straight, walking together, following. So here he's walking a sidewalk, and he's walking slow. He's walking straight, or like in just a path that he's told to walk. Like the sidewalk goes in a path, you can't really like go anywhere else. You have to follow the sidewalk, and you're walking together because there's people like walking the sidewalk as well, and so it's kind of like you're following like the rules of society. Like you walk in the sidewalk, you walk slow, you walk straight, and you're sort of like following. You're not walking anymore, by your own will. One step to the right, wall. One step to the left, death. Walking, worried. So here, the one step to the right, wall, and is just like probably like a wall, building, or whatever. And one step to the left, death, is like the road. So like on his left, if he steps on the road, he dies because of the cars and stuff. And now he's walking, worried, because death is a few meters from you. And when you live in that condition, it turns worries. It becomes like worrying. So now, turn. Now facing death, waiting. Go fast. Don't run. Never run. Walk, but fast. So here, he's going to obviously cross the road. So he turns, and now he's facing death, or the road. And he's waiting on the green light for him to cross. And then when you're crossing, you go fast. But you don't run. And you never run. Because nobody runs on a green light. You walk fast. And this shows it's a symbol of like society. So society, like, if you really think about it, it puts you in a position where you never run. They give you the idea that you're running. They pretend that you're running. So you're walking fast. But really, you're never running. You're just walking fast. Look back, death. Look forward, door. Now inside under the light that doesn't shine. Stop. Don't walk. Sit. Sit. Don't get up. Stay. Pen, paper, tree. No. So here, now this part is like he has crossed the road, and he looks back, and death is behind him, and he looks forward in a door, and it's a question mark because it's something new. He hasn't experienced this so far, and now he goes inside the door, and he's inside the fake light. Okay, so this is a cool thing, because light is supposed to symbolize something good or something hopeful, and where he is, it creates the illusion he's in a hopeful, good place, but he's under a light that doesn't shine, because the light that shines is the light from the sun. The artificial light doesn't really shine. It's just light. It's bright, and then he is in this place of like fakeness, fake shine. And then again in the poem, stop. He has stopped. Okay, it doesn't specify exactly by who or what, and he has stopped, and now he is implied to not walk. So he has been, whatever he's doing has been brought down again to another level. So he sits, and sit, don't get up, stay. Now he has to stay in the position he is. Pen, paper, and when I did this tree, no, is because the pen and paper is like for working. But when I said paper, he had this vague remembering again of his past, of the joy. The tree, because paper comes from trees. But society, again, no, makes you forget the past, makes you put that all behind you, makes turns that into nothing. It makes you forget the joy. Now, sit, stay, work. Work at day, work at night, work every day. And if I turn the page, work every night. So this part here is about, it's just pretty self-explanatory. So it's just a repetition. He sits, he stays, he works at day, he works at night, he works every day, and he works every night. Sad, sitting, working, surrounded by others, sitting, working. Why? So now I add this feeling by the word sad in the way that I say it, because he is now depressed. He's in this position of being depressed, and for the first time he questions. So he says, "Why? Like, why am I depressed? Why did I become depressed?" He's in this position. He is lost, okay, and he finds himself surrounded by all others that are supposedly depressed as well, just sitting and working. Look, window, far and down green. Look closer, person, running in the park. Remember, close your eyes, running, jumping, stepping. Go back, too far. So here, he's depressed, and for the first time he looks back. So he looks at the window, he looks down, he sees the greenery from the park, he looks closer, he's a person running in the park. And for the first time, he remembers the joy. He remembers what it was like when he was happy, when he was progressing. Because after that first moment where he progressed, when he took one step at a time, he started running. Now he started walking, then he sit, and then he's staying. He's just stopped now, and now he thinks about, he wants to go back, but he's so lost and he's so deep into it that he can't. Too far. So that's a big thing in depression, because most people realize they're depressed. It's too late to get out of it. Blue sky, dark world, dreams are nightmares, cry. So this end here is like the blue sky. It covers the dark world. It hides it. It creates this image that the world is bright, but it's really a dark world. And the dreams are nightmares. The reason I put this is because in the first stanza, I wrote here, on a day like this, one can only cry in a dream. But he was crying, and he wasn't really in a dream. He was in a nightmare. So for you to cry in a dream, it isn't really a dream. It's a nightmare. So yeah, that's the full analysis of the poem, verse by verse. And yes, finished.